What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, Just Death TV. Thank you guys for stopping by. So we are here to move on to episode 34 of Love After Lockup. I don't even know what I called the last video, child, but it's Love After Lockup, episode 34. So we're gonna get right into it. So Zoe and Troy, they had a great night. She said the size of his eggplant, it was hitting. Child, it was hitting. So she don't have to worry about that no more because he showed improved, child. He showed improved. He showed up and he showed out. I guess after 7 years, child, you ain't got no other choice but to show up and show out. It is what it is. So they both happy. They hit it off nicely. It was good. She lets him know that his mother is coming to visit him, that she spoke to his mother, and that his mother is going to come and visit, and then his mother is going to stay for a couple of days, and that she wants him to go and pick Mom Dukes up. He doesn't look happy at all. He tells us that him and his mother don't have a great relationship. We can tell that by the look on his face, that they don't have a great relationship. And Z says she wants him to mend the relationship with his mother. We find out that his mother abandoned him at his friend's house when he was like 2 or 3. He said he was like 2 or 3 years old, that his mother just went and dropped him at his friend's house and never showed up again. Child, what? What? I don't understand that, but it happens. It happens. It is what it is. So I would be pissed too if I'm grown. I just did a bid and this is sprung on him. It is what it is. She says his relationship with his mother is very important because his relationship with his mother will help her understand, or help him understand, or have better relationships with the women in his life and people in his life, and then ultimately her son. I don't think that's the case. I absolutely don't think that's the case, and I absolutely think that this is not how you should approach the situation. I feel like you ambushed him. But that's just me. I feel like she ambushed him because of the fact that she sprung this on him. She had plenty of time to tell him that this was happening, that she spoke to his mother, and she didn't. She waited until he was actually home. And I don't like that. You already messing with his boundaries, and you already know that this is a strong boundary, and you stepped over this boundary because you didn't discuss it with him. You should have discussed this with him and let him handle it the way he wanted to handle it, and let him gradually feed into this relationship with his mother. If you wanted to facilitate that, then that's fine. But you should have let him ease in it the way he wanted to ease in it, because then you're going to get a lot of backlash. You're going to catch the backlash from this fallout, because I see it coming, especially after he spoke to the mother. I don't like the fact that you crossed his boundary. But that's something that they're gonna have to deal with, because they in this relationship, not me. So True's been home for 2 days, and now all they do is argue. Him and Shonte. That's all they doing all day, is arguing about every little thing, because he wanna live his free life and live his best life, and she wants him to be grounded and more aware of what's going on in his life, what is happening. It is what it is. We'll see how it works out when we get there. So True says he can't get married to somebody that he's always arguing with, and I feel like, sir, that's just an excuse. You didn't want to be with her anyway, and you're just making this an excuse to not be with her. That's just how I feel. You already got your eyes set on something else, and you're gonna run through them like tornadoes. Remember the 60 women? I do. So you already got your target set on somebody else. You done hit it. You hit the lick when you got her. She spent $30,000 to $50,000 on you, and you smashed when you came home. And now you're ready to move on. You got what you needed. She tricked out on you. She took care of you while you was in prison. You fed her the okie doke. She fell for the okie doke, and now you're ready to move on to the next lick. I get it. She don't, but I do. It is what it is. She's focused on all the money that he's spending, because remember, she's unemployed right now because of his situation. She had gotten fired. She was a supervisor, and she got fired because of his situation. Somebody ratted on her. But my whole thing is, you can also reel that in, ma'am. You don't have to supply him with money, because where's he getting it from? His sister? His mother? Where he getting it from? So he's spending all of this money, and I'm not sure. I'm thinking it's your dime because you complaining. You could put a kibosh to this as well. You can put a stop to him spending your money. She feels the need to communicate, the need to work on communication. I agree, because she said he's not listening. I don't know. They're going back and forth. He said he wants to slow down with their relationship. They want to go back to just dating and not being engaged. He said she's good. It's not her. She's good. So what are you saying? That is you? He thinks that this is a game. You could tell that he thinks that this is a game, but by that smirk that he keep putting on his face, that he's, that push and pull game. That's what he's doing with her. But he's really hurt her feelings to the point where she even goes outside and cries in this episode. And he's really hurting her feelings, and he really don't care, because you could tell that he has no emotional intelligence, and you could see his detachment just from the way that he has conversations with her. He never even seems happy around her. The only time he really seemed happy around her was when they discussed about having sex. Other than that, the only time you see him really smiling and happy is when he's talking about his degeneracy in the confessionals. Y'all drop that in the comments and let me know if y'all feel the same way. But that's just what I get from watching them and listening to them. So Kim and Joey get breakfast after he gets out. And, they chop it up about old times and the things that happened, I think when he was 18 and stuff like that, We find out that her ex constantly cheated on her throughout her whole relationship. Throughout their whole relationship and their marriage. It continued when they got married. And Joey was a get back. A get back lick, because her husband kept cheating on her, continuing cheating on her. So he was a get back that turned into something real. It's not going to work. It's not going to work, sis. I'm telling you now, it's not going to work. But y'all continue on. They think that the messages that they spoke about in the last episode was coming from him, because over the summer, he sent her messages trying to get back to her. They showed the message on the screen. He's trying to get back with her ex, is trying to get back with her. And she thinks that he is the one that's sending him the pictures and trying to sabotage their relationship so that she can get back with him. Either way it goes, they both got two crazy exes. He got a crazy ex from 20 years ago that's been stalking him and them for 20 years, and she's trying to break their relationship up. She got a crazy ex that's been cheating on her, that she got kids with, or whatever the case may be, and he wants to break them up. And then the cousin. It's just a weird mix all around. Anyway, so we meet this new couple. What's her name? Bianca and Daniel. Bianca is 23. Daniel is 31. She's unemployed. She lives in Florida. He's been in prison for 4 years. He's been locked up for 4 years for aggravated DUI and burglary. She is unemployed because she was, we'll get to that. She's just unemployed, And he's from Arizona. She's packing up her stuff to head to Arizona because that's where he is for when he gets out. She's totally in love with him, and there's nothing she can do about it. For the last 8 months, she's been totally in love with him, child. She's so smitten, and they're gonna have a great life together. That's what it is, child. That is what it is. She says that she spent about $7,000 on him. She's not really counting, and she's not keeping track, because money is money. It's whatever. She's gonna do with it whatever she wants to do with it, because she has a lot of it, right? Her friends thinks that she's making a rash decision, and she knows nothing about him. I don't know. This would. Sorry, the reason why I'm pausing is because this relationship is a little bit weird. And I feel like this relationship is built on trauma, but I'll get to that. Let me just finish talking about this scenario. We found out that 9 months ago that she was in a really bad car accident where she broke her neck and she fractured her back. She had surgery. She couldn't speak for a couple of months. After that, almost 3 months, that's when she started back speaking vocally. And now she has a scar on her neck that she's self-conscious about. She went to the prison websites to find somebody to help her deal with what she was going through. And she wanted to write them. She wanted to write to somebody who was also involved in a DUI because her and her friend were both inebriated, and that's what caused the accident. She was inebriated. Her friend wanted to drive her home, but her friend was also inebriated, and the friend hit a big concrete wall on the highway. So that's what happened by an airport. So that's what happened. She wanted to write somebody that had issues relating to DUIs, right? I think she's still processing. I'll say that, Bianca. I think she's still processing. And I think that I feel like she needs help with dealing with what she needs to deal with. And I feel like she needs therapy. I feel like the therapy that will help her overcome, help her get through the depression, process things properly, because she was really traumatized from this situation and other things, right? She says she has a lot of money. She's not going to disclose how much money she got from the accident, but clearly it's a lot of money if she's not counting that she gave away $7,000. And she spends money freely. And she's only 23. And she doesn't really care about working. And there's a lot of stuff that she was saying. She says he knows how much money she has, but he knows that the money is for their future. He's 31. Again, her frontal lobe is not even fully developed because she's only 23. And you can tell by her actions in this episode that she's still developing. She has a way about herself and the way she handles situations. And I was just like, ugh. I was side-eyeing her a lot. She has a lot of maturing to do. But that's just my thoughts on it. I feel like she's still selfish. She's still young. She still does young things. She's not taking things seriously, and she has a lot of maturing to do to be dating a 31-year-old that was in prison. But we'll break down this scenario a little bit more. So we head over to Z and Troy, and they're on their way back to the house from the hotel that they stayed in the night before. You know, her son is excited for him to be home. Her son was acting silly. It was driving me nuts, the fact that he was doing all of that stuff. The dancing and all. Like, I was just like, this is too much. Little boy, just sit down somewhere. Maybe I'm being too rash, but he was annoying me. You know, she bought a gift for her son so that Troy could give it to her son to make him think that it was from him, you know, that it was his welcome home gift from Troy. And I don't like the deception. I don't like the deception at all. Because if you do it once, you're going to have to do it a lot. So we'll see how far that goes. But we'll get to that, because I think next episode they're going to be arguing already, child. And it looks a little bit chaotic. But we'll see. We'll get to it. Yeah. Her sister already feels uncomfortable. Even when she went to go give him a hug and stuff, it was just like, hey. It was a little dry. It was a little stiff. And I think that sister's going to be an issue, because even the way he approached the sister and talked to the sister, it was a little dry. So I don't think that that's going to pan out well. And that might be an issue with their relationship as well. Because he said before he got out that he wanted the sister to be gone by the time he gets there. So I know for a fact that that's going to be an issue. She sends the son to go stay with her mom because Troy's mom is coming to spend some time with them as well. Troy is not ready, he said. He said he's not ready. Like I told y'all, she's forcing this issue and he is not ready. And this is not going to pan out well for them. She proceeds to tell us that her relationship with Troy's mother is rocky, and she could only take her in doses. She says that this lady knows how to how to push people to the edge, and we get that from their conversation at the end. The lady knows how to push the people to the edge, right? But she expects him to have this grand old great relationship with her. and have these feelings towards her, knowing that that you pushing his mother on him. So he's going to resent you, and he's going to resent the mother for that. For one, you pushing him to have this relationship that he's not ready to have. And you keep pushing the issue. So it's going to be an issue. So, girl, please. That's going to be an issue. Your sister is going to be an issue. And then what's going to happen with the son? You already starting off on the wrong foot with this man. You starting off on the wrong foot. You started off on the wrong foot when you started dating him, and he was the cellmate to your that was next door to your husband, your ex-husband. That was already the wrong foot, and now you still starting on the wrong foot by pushing him to have a relationship with this woman that he doesn't really want to have a relationship with. It's gonna be your bad. Anyway, Letitia is getting the kids ready for school. And she's going to be home, working from home today because she has a lot of stuff to catch up on. She wanted to call the courthouse to find out what's happening with Keith. And, she wanted to get some more information about his release and when he's going to be released. And the lady told her that she can't really disclose much about the case, that she needs to speak to the lawyer. She doesn't really know what's happening. And we're all kind of at a loss. And we all really don't know what's happening. Let me close this. And we all really don't know what's happening. So we're gonna wait a little bit. She says they got themselves a new lawyer, like a private lawyer. So we'll see how that pans out. Joey and Kim had an amazing night, and they pack it and leave. So Joey says he never uses protection, and last night was no different. And I was just like, oh, ooh. Sis, ooh, child, ooh, I don't know. This fool proceeds to tell her while they're in the car talking that kids are like dogs. All you really need to do is play with them. I was just like, girl, you got yourself into a pickle. But we'll get there too. He said that he feel like they made a baby last night, all the stuff that they was doing, child. I said, ooh, you made me throw up in my mouth a little bit, but okay. Okay, girl. Okay. He calls her sugar mama. And technically she is, but I would not allow anybody to call me that. I'm offended by that. I was offended for her when he said that to her, and I was just grossed out. But she says okay, and that she let him use her card to get gifts for the boys because Auntie Christmas is coming up, whatever. And homeboy spent $318 on them. And she said that she's a teacher and she makes a modest salary. She makes $15 an hour. She doesn't make that much money, so she's a little bit cautious too and nervous too about the way he's spending money. Of course, people gonna spend money like crazy because it's not theirs, and they don't have to account for it. You're the one that has to be accountable for your own funds, and y'all are just letting them do what they want with your money. Ladies, I have a saying: your money is our money, and my money is my money. Period. Yes, I'll contribute to the bills. But I'm not letting you're not going to know how much I make. You're not going to know how I'm spending. You're not going to know how much I have saved. I'm going to have a separate account. Always. I'm not intertwining my money with ours. If I need to transfer money into a joint account, which I'm never going to have a joint account. If we need to pay bills, we're going to pay bills separately. Either you give me the money, I pay the bills, or I give you the money and you pay the bills. But we're not having a joint account. I don't care. My money is my money. You'll never know how much money I have. Period. And I advise you guys to do the same. Period. Bianca meets up with her friend Andreas, and they've known each other since high school. Andreas feels like, not Andreas, pardon. I feel like all of her relationships are built out of trauma, including the one that she's in with Daniel. This one was built out of trauma for her accident. Her relationship with Andreas was built out of trauma as well. She has an issue and she needs counseling. That's how I feel. She has an issue and she needs counseling. Yes. Everybody in her life She's built bonds with them through trauma. She says she will be living alone in Arizona for 30 days because he's going to be in a halfway house, and she doesn't even understand how she's going to deal, because she's never been really living alone, and especially in a place that she's never been. So it's going to be a little bit scary for her. Again, that's a 23-year-old reaction. She's impulsive, Andrea says, and that she does things without thinking. I can tell. My question is, where's her parents? They never discussed that, but I want to know where this 23-year-old girl's parents are. So Daniel calls, and she says he's been acting weird and not communicating with her very much. Something's transpired. If that's the case, something's transpired that he's not telling you. Daniel doesn't want to stay in a halfway house. That's what they disclosed to us, that he's not keen on, when he gets out, staying in a halfway house. He feels some kind of way. He doesn't want to do it. And I think that's going to create a problem, and that's going to be an issue. It is. And so does Andreas. Andreas thinks that it's going to be an issue too. I do. I think it's going to be an issue. I do. I think he said he wants to come and stay with her, and he has to be in the halfway house in the rehab because he's still in that state of ism, whatever that ism is, which we'll learn eventually later. Andreas feels that Daniel is an a-hole, but we shall see. We don't know that much about him. We haven't gotten really to know them. This is our first introductory to them, so we'll see if he's an a-hole or not. We will be the judge of that, Andreas. We will be the judge, and we will definitely tell you if he's an a-hole or not. Okay? So Shonte and True are still having the tough conversation about what they're going to do about their relationship and the communication. He wants to keep going and go with the flow and go back to dating instead of them being engaged. She wants to know if they will be exclusive. We're not dating and not be exclusive. Like, it's weird to me. I wouldn't even ask that question, because the moment he said that we want to be dating, it's cool. We gonna be homies. We gonna be friends. That means we can't sleep together. I'm not giving you no money. You're not staying here. Like, all of that stuff. If you want to go back to dating, because you are gonna be dating other people, and then I'm gonna be picking up the crumbs. That's what she's setting herself up for. And she's very foolish to be her big old age with these kids and all of this money that she had and that she spent on him, to allow somebody to dictate that relationship. And for you to ask if y'all are gonna be exclusive, no. It is what it is. Like, you have to demand what you want out of a relationship, or he's going to take advantage of you, because that is what he has been doing all those years in prison. That's what he's learned. Demand what you want and go from there. She got to learn that. But she going to go with the flow because she really loves him. She says it a few times. Anyway, he gives her this whole word salad, and it basically ends up with them not being, him pretty much not saying, but saying that they're not going to be exclusive, but they definitely not engaged. That's pretty much what the word salad ended up to be. Because he said a lot of things. And I'm just like, he said he's going to be at both locations between his mother and her house. And I'm just like, girl, he going to be in them streets. He going to be in them streets. So they technically call off the engagement. And she said that she's cool, but she's clearly not. She's clearly not cool. She's clearly not cool. And he can't read the room enough to know that she's not cool, to know that she's hurt. But she chose him, especially knowing his standing. And then the cousin or the uncle or whoever the friend was that set her up with him, he knows how to do this. And they never gave her a heads up once. But it is what it is. It is what it is. He said that she should have come to visit him and got to know him better. So that, and that kind of contributed to them getting to where they are now. And the fact that they're right now and they really can't get along because she never came to visit him and they don't really know each other. And I'm just like, that's a bunch of bull. You've been trying to get away from her from the moment you got released. And, you know, you're using a whole bunch of excuses. she boring, she shy. Now it's the fact that she didn't come visit you. You changing every time. So which one is it? I'm confused, sir. I'm at a loss. But you know what you're doing, because you wanted to get away from her anyway. And that was that's just your excuse to get away from her. Yeah, it is what it is. She feels like she wasted 3 years of her life. You did waste 3 years of your life. You wasted a lot of the time. Unnecessarily, though, because that was your choice after a year. You know, he says he's relieved, and clearly he can't read the room, because you know, he's really not worried about her or her feelings. Like I told y'all, his emotions are detached. He don't care. As long as he get her out of the way, he don't care, because he has his own agenda of what he wants to do. So he don't really care. She says she feels like she was played, and she breaks down. And you, in fact, were played. We was all telling you that. We was telling you that. I was telling you that on Love during lockup, because the flags were there, the pictures, the money thing. It was all there. The cousin, when he said he know what type of person he is, and he didn't think that y'all was gonna be in. He didn't think that y'all was gonna go so deep. The flags were there. The fact that he's telling his mother one thing and he's telling you another thing, they were all there. You chose to ignore them. So now you feel played. You played yourself, because the flags were there. It is what it is. You take it how you want to take it. Y'all roll with it how you want to take it. Drop down in the comments and let me know if y'all agree, because I feel like she played herself. He didn't play her. She played herself. You know, she's outside breaking down. She does, to the point where she doesn't even want to go back into the house because her feelings are hurt. Her feelings are hurt. You know. And so for the night, they sleep in separate rooms. Yeah, it's a no for me. It's a no for me. I'm not going through all of that. You only been out for 2 days, and y'all already sleeping in separate rooms and arguing all day. We're not even dating. I've seen all I could see. And you gave up way too much money in the beginning in order for you to get here. So you played yourself. But anyway, we head over to Kim and Joey. You know, they finally get to her place, and they waiting for his mom to bring home the kids, because she had the kids with her, so that they can have a little alone time, you know, and get rekindled, you know. He said he hasn't seen his mother in over a year, so he's really touched. And, you know, they can't wait to spend Christmas together. It's all of them. They all say it's the best Christmas that they ever had, including his mom. You know, his mom feels that this is going to be the best Christmas that she's had. Kudos, you know, that he came out around that time, and then they get to rekindle that. But I think it's going to go downhill soon, because I promise y'all, I seen him nodding in that confessionals. Not nodding fully, but his eyes did something. And that shit was like the blink of a second, but it happened, and I caught it. So I think he's still doing some stuff. So Letitia is still trying to figure out what happened, you know, with her husband's release. And she said she paid some lawyer Ben $1,000 to help them file the motions and do all of that stuff for him to get that early release and take care of all the other paperwork. But right now she can't get in contact with the lawyer. So she's feeling played, because she can't get in contact with the lawyer. She don't know what's happening. She don't know what's going on. I don't know. The lawyer ran off with your $1,000, child. Just $1,000, and you think he made? Okay, all right. I mean, I'm just saying, it is what it is. So Bianca and Andreas discuss Daniel's sobriety, and she feels like she doesn't have to stop drinking because he, you know, he's an alcoholic, and she thinks that he'll be okay. Girl, you don't know alcoholism, and you don't know what alcoholism does to alcoholics. Some alcoholics have to have a beer when they first woke up just for their body to function properly. They cannot go throughout the day without having a drink. You have a lot of growing up to do, my friend. You have a lot to learn. And if you think that you can stop drinking, that he will be okay around you while you're drinking, you're sadly mistaken, ma'am. You have a lot to grow up to do, and you have a lot to learn. You're dating this 31-year-old alcoholic, and you don't know how that is going to affect your lives. And you're 23. Child, you got a lot of learning to do. A lot of learning to do. We found out that Daniel has a 13-year-old son, and he was previously married. So you're 23 years old, and only 10 years older than his son, and you don't have a problem with that, and you're okay with being a stepmom at 23. You don't see nothing wrong with that. And it's not like this is a baby. This is a 13-year-old. Again, you have a lot of learning to do, because he's in the early teenage stages where he's going to be hella rebellious because you're not his mom. And the fact that you're so young and you're dating his dad. You don't even understand what can of paint that you done opened, like what can of worms that you done opened up. That's why I said you're very immature, you're very selfish, and you have a lot of learning to do. That's why I said I had to pause about this little girl, because she is, like I said, bonded through trauma. And I feel like she has a lot of growing up to do, and she has a lot to learn. And this is going to teach her a powerful lesson. This right here is going to teach her a powerful lesson. And I don't understand why none of her friends or nobody in her life finds that this is a problem, that this dude is 31. He's been married before. He has a 13-year-old son, and she's only 23. It's crazy. And nothing even matters but her love for him. I love him to death. Oh my God. Girl, bye. Girl, goodbye. She's very immature for this situation, like I said. She's not taking his sobriety seriously, like I said, nor does she think about anything else but her own needs. As long as her needs are satisfied, she's okay. She doesn't think about anything outside of that. She's impulsive, like the kid said. Yeah, she is. She is. She says she really doesn't care about what anybody has to say at this point, because she's leaving tomorrow. Okay, girl. This is going to teach her a hard lesson. This is a life lesson that's going to bounce her on her butt. Yo, it's going to put her on her butt. Daniel's mom calls, and she says they have a great relationship. Not so much with the father, because at the end of the day, the father said some crazy stuff to her on the phone just now. But the mother looks like she's on drugs herself. She looks like she's rehabilitated alcoholistic herself. Alcoholistic is not a word, but I just said it. The mother is concerned about his sobriety. Everybody is really concerned about his sobriety except her. And you're in a whole relationship with him. But it is what it is. We're gonna keep moving. Daniel's dad asks her if she's mentally stable. Why would you ask her that and you just meeting her? And then that leads me to believe that he said something to them, mother and dad, because, women, we won't do things like that. Certain women won't say or do things like that and say things outright like that. But men don't understand how to read the room. So for him to ask her on their first encounter, like on the phone talking, if she's mentally stable, he had to say something about her to them. But we'll find out probably in a couple of episodes down the line. We will, because that's how I think. Because he's not just going to automatically, if you meet somebody for the first time, you're not going to automatically say something like that unless you referring to her being crazy for dating him. You get what I'm saying? So I think he said something to her parents. Anyway, we hear a phone call, and Daniel admits that he relapsed twice while he was in prison. He said he relapsed a few times since he was in prison. So a few times is 3 or more. I said twice, but 3 or more is a few times, technically. And now again, like I said, she's not taking his sobriety seriously. He's already relapsed in prison. So imagine when he gets out in the free world and she's 23 and she wants to party. And she's drinking and doing all the things. Child, she's going to drag him right down with her. Right back into that abyss, child. And then it's going to be hard to snap him out of it. But girl, you like it? I love it. You like it? I love it. We're gonna watch the destruction of this right before our eyes, child. Right before our eyes. So Troy is on his way to go pick up his mom from the train station. He says his expectations are to build a better relationship with her. And Karen says she's excited to see him and build a relationship with him as well. Right? His mom says, he asked his mom why she never came to see him while he was in prison. She said alcohol kept her from doing it. So she's an alcoholic as well. You could tell. She thinks she's young. With the piercings, with the belly shirt, the hair. She still hasn't grown up either. And you could tell by the comments that she was making, because she was throwing little shots at his wife. And I don't know if y'all caught it, but I did. Because she was throwing little shots at his wife. And I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Because your main objective is not to, one, sabotage their relationship or get in between their relationship. Your main objective should be, and the most important thing on your mind should be, mending the relationship with your son. That should be the most important. That should be more important than anything else. Yes, you want to suss out if she's the right person for him, but you also want to make sure that you mend the relationship with your son. That's first and foremost. Period. It is what it is. She said alcoholism got the best of her. I could tell. We could see it in your face. Alcohol and something else. Child, something else. She seems like she doesn't really like Z that much. And that's what I got from their interaction. Especially from the little jabs that she was taking while she was getting in the car. She called her see how she decorated this little house, and, hater stuff. Just hater stuff. And I'm like, ma'am, you too old. You too old for this foolishness. But we'll get there. We'll get there. So we get back to Shonte, and they get up the next morning. They, from sleeping in separate rooms, True calls her down to the living room so that they could have a little conversation and kind of like pick up where they left off last night to make sure that this is what they actually want to do. Separate, go back to dating, blah, 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 blah. All the things. He feels like he feels like they should get to know each other all over again, because she never took the time out to come visit him and really get to know him. So he wants to be back in that stage, getting to know each other. But he still wants to do him. And I'm just like, he wants to do him and be out in the world and live his life and do whatever, and still have her waiting for him to come back. That's what he wants her to be on the back burner. And I don't think she should accept that at her big old age. The sister picks him up to take him to the gym, and this trifling bitch invites her friend that he was talking about last episode to come and work out with them. That's how you know she's trifling. That's how she know she with the shits, because of this foolishness here. You see what I'm saying? Encouraging the foolishness. That's what I said last review. That she's encouraging the foolishness. She's encouraging the foolishness. That's why she keeps saying, this relationship ain't gonna work, this relationship ain't gonna work. This relationship ain't gonna work because you're not gonna allow it to work, ma'am. You're inserting your third-party friend into the relationship, which is giving him the bait. That's why I said she's trifling. And that's why I said we could all see it on TV. You could go work out with your brother. You didn't have to invite your friend. You did that on purpose. And he was salivating in the confessionals and in the gym, salivating for the thought of her. You could see it in his eyes. He was imagining everything that he was going to do with this lady already, sitting in that car with his sister. He's a special type of person. He speaks through his eyes, and I want y'all to pay attention. I said that the last 2 reviews ago. He speaks through his eyes, and in order for y'all to understand the true him and what's going on with his mind, you have to pay attention to his eyes when he's speaking, because he says one thing out his mouth, but his eyes always tell on him. That's how I know that he's lying, because his eyes say something totally different. And while he was sitting in his car, from the moment that he found out that the sister was bringing her friend, he was salivating through his eyes just at the fact that the girl was coming. He was imagining, oh, she want me. Oh, she want to do this with me. Oh, we gonna do all of it. He was imagining the things that he could already do with this girl before he even seen her and got to her. He wasn't even listening to what the sister was saying. The sister was still talking. He was half listening, but he was imagining what was going to transpire with this girl. That's how I'm telling y'all, he is a problem. And shonte is missing all the cues. She better take this as I dodged a bullet, child. That's what she better cut her losses, cut her money losses, pick herself up, dodge a bullet. Trust me, she dodged a bullet. Yeah, that's all I wrote. That's all my notes. Everything I said to y'all is all my notes for this episode. So the episode goes off, and they show a picture of him and a friend. I mean, not the picture. They show a clip of him from the next scene walking in, and they working out, and a friend walks in, and you can still see his face there. Drop down in the comments and let me know if y'all think I'm lying. Let me know if y'all don't think that this dude speaks with his eyes. Pay attention to his eyes from this moment out, because he talks with his eyes, not his mouth. And he learned that in prison. Because some people, you know how some people have the gift of gab and they talk with their mouth. They use their mouth to entice you. Everything that he's thinking shows in his eyes. So y'all have to pay attention to that. But anyway, that's my spiel. That's how I felt about this episode, child. Y'all drop that in the comments. Let me know what y'all thought. Let me know if y'all agree. Let me know if y'all think that shonte and True is gonna succeed. Let me know what y'all think about Z and Troy and the mama situation, and then the sister situation, because that whole dynamic is gonna be explosive eventually. I promise y'all. I feel like Joey is still doing that booger sugar, allegedly, or whatever. Y'all drop that in the comments. Let me know if he's still on that stuff, child. And Bianca, poor little Bianca, this 23-year-old girl. Let me know if y'all think that she's immature and that she needs to step back and get out of this relationship. Thank you guys for stopping by. Don't forget to like, rate, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.